Welcome back. In our first story, in a rebuttal to allegations of prejudicing the legal process, the Attorney General's Department has defended recent media disclosures concerning the arrest of former National Signals Bureau Director General Kwabena Adu-Boahene and his wife Angela Adu-Boahene. The couple is accused of diverting $7 million in public funds through fraudulent transactions. Deputy Attorney General Justice Shremsai, speaking on PM Express last night, asserted that statements by his boss, Dr. Dominic Ayene, were factual and within legal bounds, countering claims from Mr. Adu-Boahene's legal team that the Attorney General's public commentary compromises what they're doing.
I think it's very important that I am happy that you brought this issue up, because it was also part of a press conference held by, I think, the minority. In other words, their position is that anytime an Attorney General makes a claim as to the chances of his success, then he is being prejudicial. I think that is not a very accurate proposition. Attorney Generals all the time have a stance on any case that they take to court. They have their position. They are not, the Attorney General is not an arbiter who is required to be fair and not to prejudice the case. His argument really all the time is that I have what it takes to convict the person I'm putting before the court. So my point is that you only think that the Attorney General is being prejudicial if you also think that he's supposed to be an arbiter rather than a party. But unfortunately, the Attorney General is a party with a position which advances to the court and obviously to the public, that anytime he is arresting someone or is putting the person before a court, the Attorney General is always saying that I have what it takes to obtain conviction. So it is nothing new. It is nothing out of place.
Well, let's bring in now Samuel Atachia with Zoe Achia and co on this matter, and joins us via Zoom. We're grateful for your time, sir, here on NewsDesk. We understand that your clients, Mr. Kwabena Adu-Boahene and Angela, have been granted bail. Is this true? Have you satisfied the bail conditions?
No. What they've done is to come out with their own onerous terms, so they keep them. And you know what it is when your captors are in the public domain and pronounce you guilty. They can tell you, go and bring the whole of United Kingdom, and if they are not satisfied, say go and add also all the houses in America. So it's the rules of a bail arrangement they've put together. And we will advise ourselves. We don't expect them to be kind to us at all. Having regard to the fact that we are already poisoned as criminals to the entire world. And it is distasteful. So we advise ourselves as to how they will secure their liberty. What is even worse is how, even at my standing as a lawyer, I'm not permitted to have a confidential engagement with my clients. Proud they are being interrogated at the Yoko. And the whole idea is that let Yoko officials stand by while I interrogate my clients so that they listen into a confidential engagement.
But if that is true, that is against the Evidence Act. Have you raised this concern with the Attorney General?
As a matter of fact, it is Mr. Raymond Archer that I wanted to approach, because I've been told that he has custody of the entire investigations that is going on. The Deputy Executive Director of Yoko. And for me, I waited for over 2 hours in his reception, and he didn't see me. But the point of the matter is that, is it a reset of the Constitution that for the first time in the annals of our criminal jurisprudence, a lawyer cannot have a confidential engagement with his clients before the clients are interrogated? What is the basis of the right to counsel as enshrined in the Constitution? I do not understand that. As we are talking now, they have exceeded the 48-hour rule, and my clients are still behind bars.
You've met your clients. How are they faring?
They are good, except that there is no incarceration which is comfortable. And I could tell you that I didn't have even the benefit of a table to write. They were pushing that I should take the instructions at the counter, and they want to listen in and record what is going on. It tells you that the circumstances are very hostile and democracy is sitting upside down. There's no dispute about it.
Well, so in this state, in what state are your clients as we speak?
They are still behind bars. And guess what? The whole world is poisoned against them. Now, these are the criminals. The Attorney General is in a very, very unpleasant professional misconduct. It's told the whole world that, look, they should even consider plea bargaining. The Attorney General is the court of law and the prosecutor at the same time. How can you say that I've not taken the statements of suspects and we're talking about plea bargaining? This is the first time I'm hearing this. This is a travesty of justice, and Ghanaians will not be excited that today is Mr. Adu-Boahene and the wife. Tomorrow it could be anybody. Well, when we have a constitutional change of government, it doesn't nullify the laws of the country. It doesn't cancel out the Constitution. President Mahama said he will uphold the Constitution. Look at the presidential oath in the Constitution. And look at the right of a suspect under the Constitution. How can the Attorney General rewrite the Constitution because it uses convenience? And now is he so excited about the press? How do you do press persecution and expect that you get the suspects to cooperate with you to investigate the matter? Well, the Attorney General is very eager to eat a meal not cooked. What the media with what you are investigating? What if the investigation is exculpatory of our client? Then you've damaged him permanently. Reputational damage. It cannot be repaired with money. It's pathetic.
Well, we'll come to that and what other lawyers are saying about the actions of the Attorney General, but I'm interested in the communication between you and your client. You talk about the confidentiality between you and them being breached at the place. So how are you communicating with your clients?
I'm unable to communicate with my clients because I'll be sent to the General Legal Counsel if I'm having a tete-a-tete with my client. And guess what? An official of vehicle is listening to our conversation and we are being recorded. That's an apology of a justice delivery system. It's never done anywhere in the world. You see, because in the very Constitution, a suspect is entitled to a lawyer of his choice. These are not my words. Right in the heart of the Constitution, the very book President Mahama swore to uphold.
So how then do you move forward with getting bail for your clients now that you're not even able to communicate with them? What then happens from here?
We will use the court of justice, equity and good conscience to secure the release of our clients. Certainly, that's the only resort. We can't do otherwise.
So what then are the terms of the bill? Are you able to disclose that to us?
Yes. Relating to Mr. Adu-Boahene, is in the sum of 120 million Ghana cedis. And it's 80 million Ghana cedis, all to be justified. That the pain of the kind of justification and how onerous the terms are is that when you come to them, your captors, they determine whether they are satisfied with the sureties or not. That's a ping pong, you know? So if they say they are not satisfied with the sureties, then you are behind bars. That is why the law should not permit them to determine, the liberty of the individual. As a court of law, that the Constitution says we impose reasonable conditions to ensure that they attend to you for the investigations to continue. So we've advised ourselves and we'll move the court in that direction.
Well, I'd like to know from you, has any charge or any charges been proffered against your clients?
Pathetic. No even statements have been taken from them. And then you vilify a man and defame him when you've not heard the side of a story. And it's coming from the first gentleman of the bar, and is a lecturer of law, and his deputy. They are both lecturers So what are you teaching the law students? That you've not heard a man, then you go and condemn him in the court of public opinion in such prejudicial terms that if we're not careful, you've painted him permanently as a criminal. When no charge has been proffered against him. It's distasteful.
Well, other lawyers are saying, including Associate Professor of Law at the University of Ghana, Dr. Appiah, believes that the actions of the Attorney General does not really, spoil anything. He's just being transparent about how events have panned out, or is being panned out by his outfit. They say he's being accountable to the people, and you still think he's being unjustly doing so?
I don't know the book that Appiah is reading from. And where in the world is a man pronounced guilty before he's sent to the court of competent jurisdiction? Where in the world? And these people are supposed to be law lecturers. Where have they found a new law or the reset law that they are talking about? Didn't you read from the Constitution? And there's a kindergarten appreciation of the Constitution that a man is presumed innocent until guilty. Are we going to tear that into shreds to sue the original caprices of, the NDC's Attorney General? Please, when these professors are talking to you, just use the common sense position of the Constitution, to contradict, the foul appreciation of the law. I don't expect a professor of law to say this. That you condemn a man in the court of public opinion, and then you say that even properties that is not investigated are the process of a crime, and say you are doing what duty?
But Mr. Akacha, this is what happens to the honored person when they do something foul against the law. They're brought to the public. They are paraded sometimes before the public. This is what they have done before prosecution takes place. What makes your client different from what happens to the everyday person?
You see, two wrongs will never make one right, It's a pathetic aberration. You see, what we are trying to do is to use the power of the press to humiliate people who can be acquitted by a court of competent jurisdiction. Why is an attorney general running away from the court where there will be adduction of evidence? Proof of a matter does not lie with the attorney general. What the attorney general puts together, at best, the lawyers, the jurisprudence calls the theory of the prosecution. And attorney generals have failed in the court of law because they couldn't prove the matter beyond reasonable doubt. So what is special? What is absurd about this position that the law is sitting upside down? A man is guilty in the press, not by pronouncement of a court of competent jurisdiction. And people cannot see this travesty of justice. That what are you reporting to the press? You've concluded already that somebody should do plea bargaining. I can't believe this.
Is that an option you would look at?
What option? A man has not even spoken to you, say he's coming to do plea bargaining. Are you practicing clairvoyance or you are doing forensic investigations? How can a man that is not engaged, succumb to plea bargaining? What order you are turning out is vile propaganda, which will not meet the threshold in the court of law where you prove things beyond reasonable doubt. Why are you comfortable with the press, not the court? Attorney General. Oh, amazing.
So what next now? When do you go to court, seeing that every available option to you to communicate to your client isn't working? What then do you do now?
Well, we're just about to step into the court to see that they get their justice from the court. We do not expect YOCO to be kind to our clients at all. They have been damned already. They've been vilified already. They've been defamed already in the name of informing the public. How do we inform the public with defamatory statements? Is that information or propaganda? Why are you claiming victory when you've barely concluded the investigation? You've not heard from them. Attorney General is very comfortable to eat a meal which is not cooked. Pathetic.
So what reliefs are you seeking for, Dr. Appiah?
We want their bail so that I can even confer with them properly in the hallowed space of my law firm. And then I listen to them. before I could look at the defense. And then we go and decide whether to remain silent or we'll cooperate with people who have condemned us already. Our options are that you have their liberty in terms of the 48-hour rule in the Constitution. And then when they post bail, not to them, but to the court, I can have them, and then we see how we use the law to assist them in terms of the international shame they brought to bear on them and the intended criminal prosecution, if it will ever arrive.
Right. With this contract, just before you go, I'd like to know whether this contract is being accused of transacting. Did you have any idea about this contract?
I don't have any idea. With the greatest of respect, I've told you that the courtesy I should have in listening to my clients in the privacy that we deserve on account of law, I didn't have it.
Okay.
So I can't guess what is happening for me to even say that this is what is at stake. And guess what? They've not even taken their statements.
Right.
So how would you condemn a man without hearing him?
Right. All right. We're grateful for your time, Mr. Atachia. Hopefully you're going to court today.
Well, very much so. I should do something today.
Right. Right. We're grateful. We'll definitely be following up on this and see how it goes. Best of luck to you and your clients.
Yes.
So there you
go. My pleasure as always.
Thank you. And you had the Samuel Atachia with Zoe Achia, co-lead counsel for Mr. Kwabena Adu-Boahene and his wife. We'll certainly keep an eye on that story. Well, let's do Kremlin Stat now. Some school children in East Mamprasi narrowly escaped death when a classroom block collapsed just minutes after the teachers got them out. It was the second time the structure had failed, yet lessons continue inside. Nearby, a 6-unit Gaffan block started in 2012 and remains uncompleted despite repeated appeals. Emmanuel Jivenu has more in our education series, Kremlin Stat.
It's a Tuesday morning at Nanori Presby Primary School in the East Mamprasi municipality. As these children lift their voices in prayer, they are not just seeking knowledge, they are pleading for survival.
You didn't come to school that day. All right.
Here at Nanori Presby Primary School, education comes at a cost, not in cedis and pesewas, but in courage and sometimes fear.
Classes were in session, and the KG children were there. So, knowing the weak nature of the structure, I, together with my colleagues, sent all the children to the uncompleted building, which we think is better, looks somehow standard in terms of strength. And after a while, after we succeeded in sending all the children into the uncompleted building, in less than 10 minutes, the wall collapsed.
And they came and told us that we should contribute. The GS, they came and said we should manage and build it. I, Assemblyman, provide blocks, and we built it, and it collapsed again. So we called Assemble, and they came and said they cannot. They will look at it, and went back up to now.
So if the children were there, if I would have killed most of them, and you can imagine. So what figure will be here? Show by hand. If you know it, you raise up your hand.
What's left of the classroom is a fragile shelter of patched walls and uncertainty. Here, the youngest learners, kindergarten and lower primary pupils, are packed in a single crumbling room.
Again, to who? And the building itself, in fact, it's just a death trap.
But it wasn't supposed to be this way. In 2012, construction began on the 6-unit classroom block funded by the Ghana Education Trust Fund. 12 years on, this is all that stands. No floors, No windows and doors, no future.
The guest farm building, they started it 2012, and the roofing also done 2013, and they ran. The contractor ran away. We don't even know where he is. We reported this building to the ensemble. Even the planner came here and the director and looked at it and went back. We didn't hear anything from them up to now.
The broken building is more than a hazard. It is a reason to give up. Every term, more pupils drop out. Others trek about 8 kilometers to Gambaga for better learning conditions. Many never return.
We attempted starting a junior high school here just to encourage the community, the children, and then to reduce the drop-up rate in these communities. Because the challenge is that most children, after completing here, they had to travel from here to Gambaga about 8 kilometers daily. And in the course of that, many of them are always tempted to drop after basic 6. Well, if this building had actually been in shape, had completed and been in use, full use, I don't think that would have happened.
During the raining season, teaching becomes a dangerous gamble. Leaking rooms, shaky walls, no escape plan. School stops, not by choice, but by nature.
Raining, we don't feel comfortable keeping the children here because of the nature of the structure. The structure is weak, so anything can happen. So sometimes we are tempted to send the children, allow them to go home during normal class hours when there are signs of rain because of what we saw the other time. And that alone, it also scares children. Look at this open environment. You can imagine over here, Hamatan would soon be in, and when the Hamatan also set, it also comes with its own challenges. Imagine how children can learn here comfortably in this open environment.
The local assembly says it has written several letters. GS says it cannot intervene. Meanwhile, children sit in fear, 12 years and counting.
We are not happy about it. We are not happy about it because the way it is, the children cannot sit comfortable, especially the rainy season time. When they are sitting and the rain comes, they have to run away. They can't take, their instructions very well.
Indeed, we are concerned. That's why, as Ailawan said, that it is not our interest to have them where they are, but they should have been in a well-structured, that uncompleted and abandoned project. But we are hands tied because what we could do is to appeal to our teachers to be mindful when the place is getting so much dangerous, then they don't allow the students in.
Despite the odds, the children keep coming. They dream of becoming nurses, teachers, doctors, and presidents. But hope alone cannot build classrooms.
Because sometimes I ask myself whether we are part of Ghana. How can a structure like this be put for over 10 years today? Since 2012, I'm told. And as I said earlier, you can imagine if they came here 10 November 2022 to inspect the building. And I made similar complaint. I pleaded with them if they could speed up effort to ensure that all the necessary assurance, they say we'll hear from them soon, we'll hear from them. Up to date, we are still hearing from them soon. So why will I say the state or the nation is being fed to rest? Are we not Ghanaians? Are the children not Ghanaian children? Who knows whom the children will be? Who knows where the next MP will come from? Who knows where the next president, the next first lady will come from? Who knows where the next Minister for Education, Health and other things will come from in this part of the country? So that is it. You see, this alone discourages most children.
At Nanuri Presby Primary School, education is not free. It is paid for with risk and sacrifice. For 12 years, promises have crumbled. just like the school walls.
If duty bearers could come into our aid, GOs, the state, and all those agencies that are concerned in the upbringing of Ghanaian children, in the upbringing of children who will lead this nation in future, to ensure that these buildings and other structures that are meant for, education, brought and then put up to this school, it will help teaching and learning.
The children of Nanori are not asking for much, just the right to learn in safety, in dignity, and in peace. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, East Mamprose Municipality, Northeast Region.
We have an interesting conversation at this just about now. Chief Executive of Petroleum Hub Development Corporation is optimistic his outfit will create more than 700,000 jobs for locals within the Western region and its environs when the hub comes on stream. We have in studio Dr. Tony Obing, who is saying this will boost Ghana's economic growth and become a game changer. And he's here with me and he'll be telling us how this will be. Dr. Obing, you're welcome to NewsDesk. We're grateful to have you, and congratulations on your new role. How's it been so far?
Thank you very much, Essie. Yes, it's a learning situation now. Fortunately, I have a good background in these areas. I've worked, as you know, at the Minerals Commission before, but I've worked at the operations of a mine before, where we have had to deal with some of these opportunities and challenges, so to speak. So at the moment, I am learning from those who are there and reading report and making sure that I'm abreast with the situation. But I'm excited and thankful to the president for the opportunity.
And just before, when we went on the break, we're having this conversation. This is the biggest in Africa, you say?
Yes, in fact, this will be the first in Africa.
Okay.
And it will be, once we be the first, the size will not even matter because it will be the biggest, biggest from zero. So, but you do have some, refineries, you do have some...
So just to tell us what this involves, for those out there watching us who really do not know what it is, what is the Petroleum Hub? Okay,
very good question, because anytime people have confronted me, they say, what is the Petroleum Hub? What is it about? People have had a very sort of skewed thoughts about it. Now, it is a free zones-like situation, space that is created for the private sector to invest in the down and midstreams of a petroleum food chain. Okay. Now, it allows, in fact, according to the plan, you have space for the building of refineries, jetties, that is kind of harbors where ships can berth and offtake and all that. And then they're going to also build petrochemical industries. We are also creating space for, I've mentioned refineries, I've mentioned tank farms, jetties, and all that. But there are also social amenities that is going to be provided. You have hotels, you have accommodation facilities that will be provided for those who will be working there and all that. And obviously, for this to come off properly and in the quality that the president envisages, you see that you need good roads, good infrastructure, and really change of the area where this has been earmarked.
How much is this going to cost us?
Well, I think you can give me a bit if I told you, but I
don't have that amount.
But you don't know, so you probably, if I mention, you tell me.
Obviously, we're talking about refineries, jetties, and ports. My salary won't be able to afford.
All right. So we actually, when everything comes on full throttle, we are talking about $60 billion. Wow. $60 billion. So an investment of $60 billion would really bring this into effect. But we need to underscore the fact that this is a private sector-led activity. Right. It's not government looking for 60 billion and then building all these facilities. I was about to ask where that money is going to come from. What government is doing is to facilitate the development of the hub by acquiring piece of land, by creating, building infrastructure that will make the place attractive enough, and then also creating the general environment that will make investment in the area attractive. Right. So that's the government's role. That's what we are doing. Government have access to do.
Made it easy for you.
Exactly. And President Mahama actually thinks that we should accelerate it.
Okay.
We need to accelerate, because if you look at the picture, the big picture of the hub, I think it's a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Even the mining industry may not go closer to it. It's going to be a huge thing. Can you believe that if it comes to full blossom, we are looking at about 780,000 employment.
Wow.
780,000 employment. So for a hub to do that, it is only perhaps a total of the government departments that can, or small scale mining that can actually challenge this type of employment. It cannot be a small joke over there.
Right.
And then, of course, it will heat up the economy of this country, given the massive investment in that area. Imagine we have a jetty, ships will come in and come and either bring in crude for processing or take refined product for distribution.
And that brings to mind the Tema oil refinery that has been more or less like a ghost of itself currently. Are there plans to revive that?
Yeah, I think government has some people looking at that. It used to work.
Yes.
Tema oil refinery.
I lived in Tema, so I know how Tema oil refinery
some 8-9 years ago, before the President Mahama won, before he left, the tour was working. In fact, crude was being imported from other places for processing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know why we abandoned it. But I believe that with the return of President Mahama, I would not be surprised if that place started working again.
Right.
But that does not, the tour will be there, and then the hub will also be there. The hub might be bigger and probably better than Toll. I don't know, but that's coming from the hub. That's what I would say. Okay. But the hub will also include tank farms, where you can store several millions of oil, either for the country or for other countries who choose to keep their security, oil over there.
Right, and that brings to mind the issue about environmental and sustainability concerns. Are there plans for that?
Absolutely. In fact, if you look at the objectives of creating this hub, sustainability is essential.
Right.
In fact, we've done a lot of impact assessment, and the EPA will be actively involved. In fact, it has been actively involved in the initial acquisition and would continue to be actively involved in that. It is important this day and age that ESG becomes central to whatever you do, including the development of the hub.
There's something very important I'd like to ask. Within this 4-year period that you have this mandate, will this hub be able to materialize fully within this period?
Yeah. First, the proposed life for the construction, for the development is 10 years. So within 10 years, we should have, everything should be in place within 10 years. But it can be accelerated depending upon some conditions that we meet as a country. For instance, if the acquisition of land is completed, fully completed, that will provide some confidence to investors. In fact, there are a lot of investors lined up, even in the short time that I've been in the office.
How many?
I've seen people calling and wanting to know about the hub, people calling and showing interest to invest. But investors are cowards. They want to put their investment where they are safe, where they feel very safe.
Of course.
So, and land is a major factor. And so once the land issue has been resolved, and I know President Mahama is keen to getting this thing resolved, it will provide about 70% confidence because they know Ghana already. Ghana is a very stable country. Ghana is an investor-friendly country, and the quality of human resources is good and all that. So that is not the issue. The issue is making sure that we have the environment in terms of land.
Okay, so land is a major concern.
At the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Well, you've been in the office a few days now. What has been the steps you've taken already in getting this established?
Yes, so that's one thing that we are working on. We have started engaging with the Nananums. In fact, last Friday I was in Takoradi to meet with the Regional House of Chiefs, right, all of whom pledged their support. They know the benefit. They've seen the picture. They have the vision of the hub. I told them that they're going to get the Rotterdam of Jomoro. Okay. So it's going to be Jomoro Rotterdam very soon, or Las Palmas if you like. And that's kind of vision that we are all looking at. So we are speaking with them. Government is actually actively looking for resources to do that. And we at the hub are also looking at options, even if we can have a private sector pre-financing the payment of the compensation. And that's where we are actually...
Which is really important.
Yes, that's what we are looking at. So once we are successful with that angle, or if government comes up, and you see the good thing is that the total amount that I've seen is 1.2 billion
for
cedis.
Compensation.
Yes, and it should be done within 4 years.
Okay.
So it means that 300 million every year.
How many people are we anticipating are going to receive this compensation?
I know that it's going to affect about 1,000 people. So, and you see, compensation is a very complex activity. You have a stool land, you have individuals, family lands, you have people who have specific interests. Somebody may have his farm there and all that. Yeah. So all these things would have to be, fleshed out and dealt with. Fortunately, I've had the opportunity to deal in my previous times with some of these compensation issues, particularly with the resettlement in the mining industry. So it provides us with lessons to be learned, right, so that you avoid the mistakes over there, and then you ensure that the people are... Because once you do that, the people would have full support for the project. Yes.
Indeed. And then what role does the hub play in Ghana's long-term energy security? We playing towards renewable energy and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, that's another interesting question. First one is that we want to ensure that you have, especially with the building of tank farms, yes, which means that we'll have enough oil. And the oil must not necessarily come from our Jubilee field or our own oil field. It could be oil from other places that are coming to be that are going to be refined over there. So and stored here. So that might assure us of some level of supply. And then again, our ministry, we are under Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, yes, which means that they are also looking at how to enhance green energy along with the fossil fuel. Right. And I tell you, the issue of fossil fuel is not going away anytime soon. And even if it did go away sooner, petrochemical industry is also there, fertilizer industry is also there, and it's also part of the hub. So that assurance is there once it is, if we have that much oil that is being stored, then we can't go hungry of oil.
Just before you go, I have very little time to wrap up this interview. I just want to know from you, how accessible is investment to local investors? Because really, I know this is very capital intensive, and often it's the international investors that have the leeway. But for locals who are willing to invest, what's the percentage given to them?
Absolutely. The investment has no color. and my preference would be to have more local involvement.
Some advantage given to
but
local
the advantage, there's a lot of advantage in this whole process. Some tax waivers and all that, and even for some regulatory requirement, the investor himself doesn't have to do that directly. The hub would have to facilitate that. So there are a lot of advantages. But again, there is an encouragement for local investment. In fact, to participate in, and then local people who have some, sorts of, investment for that must come together. Those who cannot come as individuals.
So for somebody like a salaried worker like me, do I stand a chance of investing in this house?
Why not? People are going to salaried worker. Well, I don't know your salary, so I cannot argue. But what I'm going to say is that there's going to be construction of road. There's going to be construction of houses, hotels, supply of water and all those things. So there's room for local investors, except that they should gather themselves very well, even if it means consortium, putting yourself together, and then, coming forward for the opportunity. And we are going to be drumming in more on this. Look, I'm sure if you go to our website, you will see more information. The Petroleum Hub website, you will have more information on how to be part of this. How to pitch in the right word. So, Ghanaians, we are inviting all of you to come together and then take part in this hub, which promises to be a game changer.
Exciting. Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Obingwe, CEO of the Petroleum Hub. And at this point, we'll take a break. We'll return with business.
It's now time for business here on NewsDesk. My name is Winston Taki, and as for first business story, Minister of Labour, Jobs and Employment has revealed that his ministry is working on a comprehensive international labour migration strategy. This initiative is part of the government's effort to reduce unemployment rates in the country. He made this announcement during a visit from the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Ghana, aimed at strengthening ties between the minister and the institute.
The meeting was to foster a relationship between the minister and the institute as part of its objectives to formulate professional standards to guide the conduct and performance of HR professionals in the country. Dr. Pelpo at the meeting said the move by the ministry will also put in place proper framework for these Ghanaian employees to be well treated.
And this is in the labor management within the shores of Ghana and beyond, focusing on circular recruitment in different sectors, and then protection of the rights and welfare of the worker. At the moment, I'm trying very hard to work for a situation where we can have an international labor migration where our people can, so we need to develop the appropriate framework to make sure the rights of workers who are out there working are upheld, their interests, health are taken care of. That we don't want to see a situation where Ghanaians working somewhere are treated as second-class human beings. And so I'm insisting that for every situation where a country needs the help of Ghanaians, we must sign a bilateral relationship.
President of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Florence Hatchford, said the institute will continue to provide opportunity and environment for individuals who aspire to become practitioners to acquire professional training in order to add value to their organizations.
In this regard, we are pleased to inform you that we are in the final stages of developing human resource management standards, which we aim to roll out before the end of this year. These standards will guide the development and implementation of effective workplace policies and practices to enhance well-being of workers and increase productivity.
Chief Executive Officer of the Institute, Dr. Francis Eduka, has been speaking on the steps taken by the Institute to provide a forum for regular interactions among HR professionals.
So I think the purpose of this visit is to build a relationship with the new minister who has just assumed office. Listening to him, he has a great vision for people management in this country, and we look forward to collaborating with him to make sure will develop high competencies in the HR area. So I'm very impressed with the visit.
The Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana says it will encourage and assist in the development of professional human resource management practice in Ghana.
Moving on, panel members at the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, OPE 2025, have deepened assertions that AI will replace humans in the workplace. Gloria Adu-Boahene, Vice Chairperson of ACCA Network Panel, explained that rather than replacing humans, AI will enhance human activities. She spoke at the ACCA OPE 2025 discussion held on the theme AI for a Better World.
Many have held the idea that artificial intelligence has come to cripple some businesses and render some jobs non-existent. Meanwhile, ACCA Orbit 2025 event brought together experts who shed light on AI's role in shaping the future of work. Gloria Adu-Boahene, Vice Chairperson of ACCA Network Panel, emphasized that rather than replacing humans, AI is designed to augment human activities. She urged individuals to embrace AI as a tool for efficiency and innovation, warning that those who fail to adopt risk being left behind in the rapidly evolving technological landscape.
So those who did not learn to use computer, where are they today? So it's the same vein. AI is here. We have to learn. We have to leverage AI, just as computer has come to help the manual ways of doing things. Excel, Word has come to help us. In the same way, we should leverage AI. We should not be scared of AI. It is here to augment what we are already doing. It is here to support and make us more efficient. So we should leverage AI to be able to be on top of our game.
Marketing professional Joseph Mensah acknowledged that while AI is replacing certain jobs, it is simultaneously creating new employment opportunities.
The 92 million jobs that have been displaced does not mean that there's no opportunity for people to leverage on. As you can see, based on the World Economic Forum, there's additional 97 million jobs that have been created in AI, and data roles. So we need to create that awareness and also reskill people, because if we don't reskill people, the fourth industrial revolution will pass them by, and we have to be very deliberate about helping people to succeed in the fourth industrial revolution with the right skill set, the right training, and the right opportunities to take advantage of that.
The event underscored the need for proactive learning and adaptation, reinforcing AI as a complement rather than a threat to human labor. Helen Nakai Ayers report read to you.
That's all for business here on NewsDesk. My name is Winston Taki. Back to Mamisi. We saw the story about AI, people saying
Indeed.
It will take away their place.
What are your
of work.
thoughts, though? Do you think AI is going to replace humans?
Absolutely not. It's rather going to enhance the activity, because human activities are unpredictable.
Well, they may not be able to replace humans, but I fear that humans will become lazy because of AI. But anyway, that's for a debate in another time, right?
Absolutely.
That's how we wrap up this edition of NewsDesk. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. We'll be back at midday for more news.